Sorry, I accidentally stopped the recording. So now what we're gonna do is share. There, I'm sharing my whole screen so you guys can see it. So this popped up in preview, so all I have to do is exit out, and then I can go to Finder, and I can find our picture there. And I'm gonna hold down the Control button if I'm on a Mac, or right-click if I'm on a PC, and then I'm gonna go Open with Adobe Photoshop. Or if I wanted to, I can go to File, Open, and then go to Downloads, and then click Open and open from there. But this is gonna be really fun. So what we're gonna do is first make this black and white. And to make this image black and white, and this is a specific process, like this is, you have to do things in a certain order, and your layers have to be in a certain order or else it won't work, okay? It has to be in a certain order and your layers have to be in a certain order or else it won't work. Okay, so first what we have to do is we have to go to the circle that's light on one side, dark on the other, and we're gonna go to black and white, which is this guy right here. Adjustment layers, and then click on black and white. The cool thing about the black and white adjustment layer is it allows us to make this any way we want. You know, if you darken the reds in the picture, you can get something that looks really fancy like that. You can have like a light, I like kind of like that look. You are welcome to adjust this however you want. But we just want to get a nice, good black and white. So I personally, just from my personal taste, I like this kind of darker look. It looks like really shiny and pretty. But you can also do, if you want to do something like that, it's like a completely different look, and you can do that too. It's totally up to you. There we go. Okay, now when you get it adjusted to the way that you want it, what we're gonna do is select the headscarf and color it a solid color. So I'm gonna click on the background. And again, there's a very specific order to things. So be sure to write down the steps. Write down the steps. So what I'm gonna do is click on the new layer icon. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'll make my selection directly on the background picture. So to select the headscarf, I am going to use a tool that is on the same button as the magic wand tool we used in week 1. I'm going to use the quick selection tool. So again, it's really important that you have the background selected. And I've used the quick selection tool, which is on the same button as the magic wand tool. And now it will help if you kind of make your quick selection tool a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use my bracket key to make it a little bit bigger. And you can be on the Add to Selection icon to make this selection bigger. You can also hold down the Shift button as you're making your selection, and that will make it bigger. So see how I'm just kind of going around and I'm painting using my quick selection tool. I'm painting inside this headscarf and it's kind of like expanding the selection. But see how it can quickly go too far? And now it's selected too much. So you can then go to the subtract from selection if something like that happens. Reshape your selection. And now we go to the Add to Selection. And then there's this little part here that we need to adjust, so you can click the subtract from selection and fix it. So now we have a nice clean selection of just her headscarf. Woohoo! Almost done. Okay, so notice I was on the background when I did that. And I was using the quick selection tool, which is a paintbrush that paints in a selection. Now, I am going to add a new layer on top of the black and white layer. And that new layer is going to be the solid color adjustment layer. But in order to add the solid color adjustment layer above the black and white layer, because remember what I said about there needs to be a certain order. The layers need to be stacked in a certain order, because if you have a color layer underneath the black and white layer, that color layer is going to become black and white. So we need this color layer to be on top of the black and white layer. So to color in the headscarf, what I'm going to do is go to the circle that's light on one side, dark on the other, and click on solid color. And I can choose any color I want from the color picker. Now, it looks very fake right now, right? It does not look good. That's because we haven't yet used the correct blending mode. So to use the correct blending mode, I'm going to go to, see where it says normal here? I'm going to change normal to color. And see how there's like this weird square right here? It's like yellow right here. That is actually a known glitch in the new version of Photoshop. This is Photoshop 2019. So most of the time when you actually save this as a JPEG, and I view it as a JPEG, it's gonna look fine. That yellow square is not gonna be there. But while you look at it, you're gonna be like, why? Why is there a yellow square there? So just ignore it, pretend it's not there. It's a software glitch that we have to live through until the next update of Photoshop. So yeah, keep in mind your software updates and all of that. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna put a gradient on top of this. And the gradient is going to create a vignette. And a vignette darkens the corners and keeps the center nice and bright, so that it creates a focal point. It makes your eye go right to the center of the picture, just like a painting. So what we're gonna do is go to the circle again, that's light on one side, dark on the other, like a little yin yang symbol at the bottom of the layer panel. And we're gonna click on gradient. And now I am going to select the black and white gradient. Okay, so to change it to black and white, I clicked on this gradient. I could change it to, you know, purple and orange if I want to, but I want to select black and white. And it's required that you select black and white in order for this to work. Now, this is really, really important, guys. Right now, the style of my gradient is on linear. Does everyone see that? See how it's on linear? I'm going to change it to radial. Now, this is doing the exact opposite of what I want it to do. I want it to be black in the corner and white in the center. So I need to click on reverse. Now it's the way I want it to look. Okay, and I can slightly increase the scale of this vignette. I would say don't go too far above 120 because I need to be able to see it. And then I'm going to click OK. So this is step 3, and we want to see it white and black. And you may be wondering, well, I can't see my picture anymore. What are you doing, Carly? Why can't I see my picture? Because we haven't changed the blending mode. That's why. But as soon as we change the blending mode, it'll all make sense. So I'm going to go to, see where it says normal here? I'm going to change it from normal to multiply. And when have we used multiply before? We used multiply when we were coloring the coloring page, right? In order to make the white of the page transparent and the black opaque so we can color underneath it, we use the multiply blending mode. So now what this gradient has done is before, see how it really helps to make the face the focal point, because it kind of casts her hand and the shoulders into shadow. Even up here, it kind of casts into shadow, and really, it really helps to make a target of her eyes. Now, final step, we are going to use the photo filter to make this extra fancy. So I'm going to go to the circle that's light on one side, dark on the other. And we're going to click on photo filter, which is right here. Now, right now, the photo filter is so subtle, we can barely tell it's there. And for me personally, it helps a little bit if I can tell it's there. So I encourage you to increase the density a bit. Now I can see, oh, okay. Now we have nice bronze in the highlights. Very pretty. The problem is I don't want you to go too far, because I still want to be able to see that you colorize the headscarf. So if you go that far, then it's like I can barely tell, especially if you use like red or something as a photo filter. I'm like, I can't tell if you colorize the headscarf or not, honestly. So don't do that. Ideally, it's easier on me if you use like two different colors, like the headscarf is orange and the photo filter is blue, and that kind of looks kind of nice. Yeah, the yellow square is gone. Woohoo! So feel free to use any of these photo filters that you want. Totally up to you. And then what we're gonna do is take a screenshot. And I need to see your screenshot, and I need to see your JPEG for submission. So to take a screenshot of the whole screen, Shift Command 3 or Shift Command 4, and you can take a screenshot of the picture and the layers. And I need to see each and every one of your layers in that screenshot. Next, I need the JPEG. But you need to save the backup PSD. I'm going to go to File, Save As. And we are going to venture into our folder, and we're going to name this DES104 _ week 2 assessments. Your name _ your name. Yes, Steve. And now I'm going to save the JPEG. And to save the JPEG, we're going to go to File, Export, Save for Web, File, Export, Save for Web, JPEG high, hit Save. Ta-da! Alrighty, and we are all ready to turn these in, the assignment and the assessment. So I do have some inspiring photo retouching examples to show you, but I also wanted to make sure to devote plenty of class time to your questions. So I am going to, at this point, open it up to you guys. And do you have any questions? And they can be questions about week 1, if you got stuck with coloring, if you got stuck with making a shape. Feel free, this is your one-on-one time with me. I'm happy to help you. Or if with week 2, if I just went over something way too fast and you're like, wait, can you do the lipstick thing again? And I can do it again. No worries. So what are your questions? What do you guys need help with? Oh, the liquify tool. Okay, I will be happy to do that again. So what we're gonna do Okay, I say it depends on what picture, but I think we don't want to color your background blue. Oh, in your workspace. That's probably because you applied an artboard. I can definitely help you with that. Okay, so first things first, I am going to show you how to liquefy, and then I will help Isaiah with removing the artboard. So what we're going to do is merge all of our layers together. Oh, Shaunaleigh's asking, how do you fix the large white section that's missing? What you're going to do is use the clone stamp for that, Shaunalee. And I demonstrate step-by-step in the week 1 pre-recording how to fix that white spot. If I have time after helping Stark Industries and Isaiah, I will definitely be happy to demonstrate that for you. So first things we have to do to use the liquefy tool is we have to make a duplicated merged layer. So to make a duplicated merged layer, hit Shift Command Option E. Shift Command Option E. Are you with me? Shift Command Option E. Okay, you're with me so far. Cool. Now we're going to go up to Filter up at the top of the screen where it says Filter. And we're going to click on Liquefy. Are you with me? Oh, the PC shortcut is Shift Control Alt E. Shift Control Alt E. Got it? Yep, perfect. Shift Control Alt E. So now we're going to go to Filter, Liquefy. And you're going to use the finger tool, which is technically called the forward warp tool. And you're going to Command + sign to zoom in. And I've made my finger tool about the size of her eye. Oh, Kristen is asking, can you use more tools? Or should we just stick to what's required? I would strongly encourage you to stick to what's required. You are welcome to submit 2 versions of a project if you want. You can submit one version where you did it exactly the way I did it. And then you can submit a second version, which is like using all these other tools that you use, that you like to use. And just the reason was some people use like Instagram and like retouch these photos with Instagram, and it's like, that's not professional graphic design work. You can't use Instagram as a professional graphic designer other than to promote yourself. But you can't Instagram people's photos to retouch. So that's like the only thing. So yeah, you're welcome to submit 2 versions, like, you know, my version and then like a fancy version if you want. You have 4 pictures to choose from, and you can retouch any 2 of those 4. And you're welcome to submit more than 2, but you're only going to get credit for 2. The week 2 pre-recording covers how to fill in the hole. Okay, and then that's where I've liquefied, and now I'm going to click OK. So Stark Industries, does that answer your question? Cool. And who was that? Oh, Isaiah was next. So Isaiah, if you want, go ahead. I'm going to make you co-host. Go ahead and hit share on the middle of your screen there. And I'll be able to share and you'll be able to share my screen, or you will be able to share your screen. I'll be able to see your screen. And then I can help you solve the problem of why your workspace is blue. Okay, good. And so now what you're going to do is go to File, New, just hit Create New, and click on it. See where it says artboards? Do not have artboards checked. Leave that unchecked. No, 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 no. Leave it unchecked and then click Create. So what you have is, it looks like you changed your settings. So if we go up to Photoshop up at the top of the screen, there's nothing wrong with the way yours looks. It's just, you know, go up to, click it where it says Photoshop, click, and then click on Preferences. One more time. And now we're going to click on Interface. See where it says Interface? And click on, I wish there was a reset button. Oh, click on, yes, standard screen mode where it says custom, click on that. And click on default. And then click on OK. Ta-da, you are all good. Does that answer your question? Anything else needed? Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Oh, sure, I can do the lasso lip thing. So what I'm gonna do is use the lasso tool, just the standard lasso tool. And I'm gonna trace inside of her lip line. And I'm not gonna go outside the lip line because if I go outside the lip line, she will look like a clown. And that will be bad. So I'm outlining her lips. And now I need to deselect the lip ring. So I'm going to go up to the top of the screen and make sure subtract from selection is selected. And that's the black square intersecting the white square. And I'm going to lasso that. And then you're going to go to the circle that's light on one side, dark on the other at the bottom of the layer panel. And we're going to click on curves. Is that we're going to click on curves. And now this curve here, you can like adjust however you want. I'm just kind of making it dark for now. And then to soften the edge of the lip so it doesn't look quite so fake, you can double click on this black and white shape here that's appeared next to the curves adjustment layer. Double click on it and then increase the feathering. And now it looks more blended. And I can go double click back on the little black and white shape. I can make it darker. I can go to green and I can decrease the amount of green and make it more magenta. I can adjust the colors any way I want, to make it more red, make it more pink, however you want. And that is how you adjust the lip color. Anything else I can help you with? Any final questions? How do you erase a layer? Just click on the layer and then hit the delete button on your keyboard. Oh, hey, Beth. Fiverr.com, www.fiverr.com is a place that you can go to set up a storefront as a designer, and you can set up a store that's like, I retouch photos for $5. And you can start accepting people who will contact you through Fiverr and be like, here's my photos, retouch them for me. And then you retouch them and then you get paid $5. So it's a good way to make a little side income while you're in school at the same time, retouching people's photos or doing whatever. You know, people do all sorts of things on Fiverr, whether they are make logos for people or cut out photo people from their backgrounds, or, you know, any sort of thing you can think of, people do it on Fiverr. It's a little side income. Cool. I thought I'd share with you then some fancy professional graphic design Photoshop work so that you can be like, know what you're getting into as far as our goals as Photoshop retouchers. And then feel free, though, if you guys have any questions, this is what I'm here for. Make use of me. And tomorrow will be our only multi-session because of Thanksgiving. So come in and get one-on-one help from me.
The word Photoshop is often used like, oh, you can use Photoshop. Not true. Really not true.
Shop is such an amazing tool. Change the whole online culture would be a lot more boring if there weren't editing tools like Photoshop.
A lot of people feel that because past some work through Photoshop with digital processes not as valid, and it's going to be click on a button, which is a big misconception. I feel like I do draw traditionally, but I just do it on a computer. Photoshop, there's nothing you can't create with, especially nowadays. Just like learning any program, I feel it's definitely important to experiment for yourself. Just go crazy. I think a lot of my work is fantasy, but photorealistic. It's that floating world image, and people seem to be on that. Usually a production company or advertising company would approach me and it would give me one or two images to work with to start. With the Paul McCartney one, it was just him on a stage in a black background. So I would take him and make an interesting illustration with it. I'd say typically 50 layers is normal, not more. I'd say that would be the base. It's not just layers of random elements. You gotta have color balancing, and then you have to adjust levels, everything there. 10, 15 years ago, I definitely been able to create images like that. I've talked to traditional artists, and a lot of them are just kind of stubborn trying it, or they feel like there'll be a cop-out if they do. And I don't agree with that. It's really no different than a regular traditional brush. It's just how you want to use it.
Before the digital age, we used to retouch prints, necks, hectachromes. Everything was made with hands. Now everything can be Photoshop. So editors, they put a lot of work on the post-production. The first thing is I start with the basic shaping. Make sure the body, face, the hair, the finger, the hands, the feet looks pretty good to the eye. Then I work my way in to do some details in skin, touches, zips, bags, and wrinkles, red eyes, crossing fine hairs. I mean, I can go on and on. A good retouching job, obviously, is when you don't see it's retouched. There's still some quality into it, some luminosity, some shadow, it's live. It's a site called Photoshop Disaster. People are just retouching without the eye of the retoucher on the other photographer. Quality, having structure left, really bombarded with pictures of glamour, perfectness, like perfection, even more. And it's pretty sad. I do believe those images impact our definition of beauty. But trend changes and the beauty keep changing over time. There's a saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which I believe is true. I think we can separate between like the commercial beauty and the artistic beauty.
Photoshop has evolved along with remix culture in a very interesting way. It's become a dominant way to be able to illustrate their sense of humor or what they find is funny, what their ethics are. And images are much easier to spread than a blog post. Sometimes Photoshop memes can be a very simple way of communicating. But other times I think Ashley Pepper Spray Cup, for example, was a meme that originated from this photograph of a police officer who was pepper spraying some Occupy protesters. And a lot of people use this meme to make a statement about police brutality or to publicly humiliate Lieutenant John Pike. There's a really recent Photoshop meme called Thumbs and Ammo, in which movie stills having an actor holding a gun has the gun replaced with a thumbs up hand signal. This one actually requires some very significant Photoshop abilities. And some people have said that it's an interesting way to make a statement about gun control, a gun sentiment. I'd say Photoshop has been empowering for people. It gives them the ability to humble celebrities, Beyonce's unflattering photos, or politicians. And previously, people didn't really have such a way to get their voice heard in these regards. So these tools have really helped users to be able to interact with media and change it into whatever way they want.
The benefit is obviously the practicalness. It's faster, it's cheaper, better and better all the time.
Photoshop has become very important in terms of our visual culture, and culture is becoming increasingly important in online discourse.
10, 15 years ago, I definitely wouldn't be able to create images like that.
Thank you guys so much for being such a great class, and I look forward to seeing your amazing work. Please do feel free to come by my multi-session tomorrow, and I look forward to assisting those of you who need assistance. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to speak now or forever hold your peace. Alrighty. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much.